Okay. So as I said, it's a continuation of the thing like for the demo. So we already know what is the framework, how the framework looks like, all the framework components that we have in our framework. So today I just going to show how we are creating a WebDriver test and along with how we are creating, how we are using Git to push our code using a branching strategy, and how we can execute the job, execute a test from a Jenkins. Okay, so that's what we are going to cover it today. I think we have 1 hour, but we can able to make it. So I have a I know like everyone has a different IDE, the called Eclipse or Studio Code or IntelliJ. So anything is when we are using Eclipse. Most of the people are using Eclipse. So in Eclipse, there is a different ways you can import the project from Git. One is using this tools. Some people they used to like a command line tool like Git Bash or Git Shell, whatever is prefer. I always prefer Git because even if you go to switch to a different IDE, you still can use Eclipse. Git Bash to pull your code or whatever the commands that you want to like. Some people, but I will show both the way how to create a branch or how to create get the code from the Git repo. So one way is open a Git Bash like this. You go to the folder that where you want to download the project. So you can just do a Git clone. I know some of them are already know about this. Just be patient. Then the rest of the I know based upon the Susan's mail, I saw like some of them are already know about these tools. Some of them are totally new to Git. So I just want to give an overall high level idea what we are doing here. Okay, so Git clone. So basically, you have to give the Git project URL here. So http://github.fhmc URL and the project name. Okay, and it should end with Git. So once you say that, it will download the project and it will save the project file like this here. So that's how it should be. So since we already have the Git repo, I'm just skipping this step. So next step is to check the status of it. By default, you will be in the master repo here, like this. Otherwise, if you're in a different branch, you will see a different name here. Okay, so by default, it will be a master because we always get checkout master by default. But if you want to check out a different branch, we have to specify the branch name for that. So right now, I'm just going to go with Git status. Git status is just to tell you what changes you have. So currently I have changes the 2 local file changes. So, but if you want to ignore this file, you can do a git stash, git stashes. So it will just ignore those files. So it will ignore the file. I will save the file to local, but you can use it later when you required. Okay, so now if you do the git status again, it will say your branch is up to date. There is no working tree clean, so that means you are good to start new work now. So let's assume you have a new story assigned to you. That here you have to convert this test case to automated scripts. So this first step is you have to go and create a new branch. So first step, how to get a new branch? It's again another command, git checkout. If you see -b, it's a new branch, and you can say branch name. There are some standards we have to follow. Usually the story number, or you can say like sales portal login test something. And just for demo, I'm just creating a login test. And also, we always recommend to have some timestamp here. So once a new branch is created, if you refresh or just click this project, you will be getting a new branch name already created here. So now you are good to start your new work. So that means you are just taking the latest code from the Git repo from all of your colleagues or peers changes first, then you start working on top of it. So that's the reason we need that to be here before starting that is very important, because if you are working in middle of something without other latest changes, that means you lose something, or that might work by done somebody else. So that's the reason we want to make sure that you are always taking the latest code and start working on top of it. So for that, you just always do a git pull. I already get a good git pull for that. So that's how we can get the latest code up to date on your local master. So this is about the Git, what we can do in Git Bash. Similarly, you can do it this way also. In Eclipse, you can just right click on the project. You can go to Teams. If there may be some plugins you have to install, it's very easy. If you go to help install software, you will get all the plugins like TestNG, Eclipse, all this Maven and everything. So Teams, and for Git pull, you have to do Git pull. And if you want to switch to a new branch, you have to say a new branch. You have to provide a new branch, like what I did in the Git Bash. Same thing, how to get a new branch, just create a new branch, click finish. You will be getting like this, and it will automatically check out to a new branch by default. Okay, so for any questions, how to create a new branch, why we are creating a new branch? Okay.
So is there any preferred way, Ramesh, to create from the Git Bash or from Eclipse?
It's up to the user, but I prefer Git Bash is a command line tool, because even if I go to next project, if I don't have option to use Eclipse, right? So I can use Git, but because command line tool always will be everywhere, right? So even if you switch to Linux platform, you can work on Mac, anything. But if you switch to if you stick to a particular tool, then you'll be always running on the tool. Right. So
okay.
Because if for example, like in my previous project, I was totally new to Java platform. I was using a C# with Studio Code, so there I was using a Git Bash, so it's easy for me to use Git Bash now. But if for me Eclipse to run using Eclipse, I just got from John how to do that newly. I recently got to know how to do that, but that's how I'm saying, like, always a Git command line tool is very easy, and not only easy, it's easily you can carry to any platform. That's why I like to prefer in Git Bash. Yes, a command line tool is preferred. Not only Git Bash, there is a Git shell is there. Even some people use just a command line, just CMD. That is also fine. So always the command line tool is best. But when you do in Eclipse or any kind of tools like IDE, it will be easy to understand, because it's all the UI things. It will be very easy. Easy to interpret the errors and everything. But if you're familiar with the Git any command line tool, that is best, I would say. Okay. So once we are getting a new branch, let's take today for this demo, we create a simple test. It's called login test. We're just going to log into the sales portal. Yes.
So, sorry for interrupting you. I'm just thinking, do we have any document with that Git statements, for the Git Bash statements, the commands, how we can do that?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's in our SharePoint and Confluence as well, so I can share the links.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so the process what is so far, right, is everything is documented in somewhere in the SharePoint, so you can refer that. Okay. So next is, let's go and write a new test. For a new test, what test we are going to write? We are going to write a TestNG test. Okay. So because we are going to use TestNG test runner, so we are going to use a TestNG test. Some people, they prefer JUnit test, but now for us we are using TestNG, because TestNG is mainly for a testing project. So that's why reason TestNG is very popular across with Selenium. But I will show another example here. So since I have a project here, right? So because this is a typical Maven project, so these folders will be automatically created when you create the project. But we are doing exercise on top of the existing project, right? So we are not going to write anything from scratch. We have a framework ready, and we just want to add a new test to the project. That's it. So for that, then let's assume you are creating a new module or something like that. So you can create a new package for it. So most of the times we usually follow this standards like com.company name or something, or the project name or something, on what kind of test I'm going to write some UI test. So I'm saying like sales demo something. Okay, so once you create a package, this is for test package. I created a test package. So under that, I'm going to create a new test. So test in the sense it's a Java class. So you need to create a Java class. So sales test something. So the standards, the scripting standards we follow typically. So that also is again documented in one of the Confluence page. So you can just go to Confluence and search for scripting standards. You will get that page. So you can follow that as well. Okay. So once we have the sales login test, right? We in our framework, there is a page called a class called Selenium base. The reason we want to extend this to is we have all the ready methods that we can usually reusable methods that we can easily use on our base class from our base class. So this is again, it's if you're all familiar with Java, then you know what is extends, what is base class and everything. So right now, then you can go and write a new test. So to write a new test, you just want to say like say sales login test or something. So I'm just giving some test number. Generally, we recently started using this practice. We always prefix the Jira ticket. For example, if it is a project ID or something, we just say like that. So we follow these standards actually to tag the Jira ticket number or Jira test case number is a test. That's either way you can do it. And if it's a test ng test, I know most of you all familiar with this. But if you are test ng test, you have to make it as test. So that means this is considered as a test ng test now. Okay, so since in Eclipse it's automatically you can use either a test ng or you join it. We are using test ng, so that's a test ng. So next step is you have to write your test, right? So how to write your test? First of all, you should know what test you're writing. So we have to make sure our requirement is clear. So let's document the steps first. So basically, I want to open a browser and open a URL. Okay, so I have a URL. So HTTP sales portal, I think. So something like sales portal. Okay, .com. And then I have to enter the username. Enter password, click login. Okay, so that's the step we are going to perform. So once we log in, we are going to check whether this home page is rendered or not. Okay, verify home page. Okay, so you can take it as either it's like a BDD test or just we want to write a typical page object model test. We are going to follow the same thing. So for that, generally we verify this manually once, right, before writing automated test. Because we don't want to end up stopping in the middle of something and someday the function is not working after you put some effort. Or we just want to make sure the test is a good candidate and it's good for regression candidate, or it can be run multiple times in future. So that's what we want to make sure, and you can prepare your test. So now you have to create a test. So the steps are ready. What we are going to show, and also we need data. So make sure you have data ready. Okay, so data is also ready. So I have data. I can go and write a new test. So to write a new test, so we are using a page object model, as I said. So first of all, we need to create a page. Okay, so for this testing purposes, I'm going to be just for this demo purpose, I'm going to create a page inside a test here itself. But normally we have a package to separate the page objects in a separate project, separate module called if sales portal or something. For here example, I can show here, like if you go here in sales portal, I have like sales page objects here. Wherever it's have sales dot is all our sales page related test. Okay, so whoever's familiar with sales portal, they may see these names. By seeing this name, you can understand that what page I'm referring. So, but in our focus, we are just using these two pages: sales home page and the login page. So I'm just doing the same thing here for this under the same package now. so that you can understand how we are writing a new package, so how we are writing a new test. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new page, say example a login page. So to differentiate that, I will say sales login page something, because we have a lot of applications here. So okay, so I'm going to say news. So whenever you want to create a new page, you have to make sure that you are creating a new class file. If it is already there, it will say that it's already there, and you can import it automatically. So, but I'm going to write for this demo. I'm going to show you how you want to add a new page. So that is the reason I'm adding a new page in the new name. But otherwise, we can use the existing page that I just shown for sales portal. Okay, so here is this new page I just created, but it's not created yet. I'm just write a code, but so Eclipse is very friendly. You can just create a new sales page. See that it's automatically created for you. Just say okay, it will finish it. You'll get a new page here. As I said, how we are extending a test to a Selenium base. Similarly, the page objects also to get all the friendly reusable methods, you have to just extend to base page, because this page is a page class is from the framework again. So you don't need to do anything extra. So just you can use. So if you go to the base page, it has like the lot of reusable functions that you can use it. Okay, so type, launch, verify element, all those reusable methods, everything is written. But suppose in future, if you want to write something new, you can add it here into this base page. Okay, so that's how you need to create a base page. Then once you create the base page, you can save this page and okay. So the login page is ready. So I can write a function for a login page. So how to add a login page? First of all, I want to open a URL, right? So let's assume I have a string URL now. So this is my data. Okay, so I need to say this login. Okay, I need to create a login page, right? So login function for that. So I'm just opening a URL. So there is no method like such because we just created a page. So we're adding a new method called login, and you can say this a URL. Here, as I said, we have already a base page has a lot of methods for that. If you just say type open page or something open page, yeah, so it automatically say that. So basically this is just like it's called we generally pass with the class reference here. So for this we have to just say this dot get class. So we just basically we are passing a class reference there. Okay, and this URL. So that's it. So this will launch the URL for you. Okay, so this is ready. At the same time, we generally in a page object model, right? So we follow a standard like this. We cascade the steps because in business, right? How they usually BDD, they have a business knowledge, they should be able to build up the test if they have a little bit of the OOPS knowledge. So what usually we do is we just return this as a sales login page so that you can just cascade that functions easily. Okay, so that said, if I say login page, after login, what is your next step? Or your next step should be enter the password, right? So enter the username. So you just say enter username. Okay, so we need a username. For the demo purpose, I'm just putting the data here, but usually we get the data from the external file. I will show you later. So we are just hard coding the data here. Okay, so now we can enter the user ID. What is the next step is you have to enter the password. Okay, enter, click login button. Okay, so this click login, but once you click login button, what you have to see successful. If it's successful, you should see a home page. So you should see a home page, sales home page. So that's how your steps should be. So I'll take this way, like, so it's easy to read. Okay, so this is how it should be. So this still is erroring out because nothing is done actually. So we need to create these methods by yourself. So once you create it, you just return the same. So that is again is going to refer the same page. So now you need to type something in the page, username, right? So type something here. So if you just type, you'll see a number of functions like type without click, type with tab, because sometimes we need to do action with the tab. Sometimes we should just type, but we should not click anything. So because to make the browser compatibility testing, we need to do, because some browsers like that to click, some browsers doesn't like to do. So in that case, we just check the condition of what has to be done. Then we need to type based upon that. Okay, so here we're just saying username. Okay, so and the user ID, we're getting that data. Okay. Usually the same thing, but to avoid the typos and everything, you just click it. It will create a method in sales page automatically. Just return the same object here, same class. Okay, and just for quick thumb type. Some people prefer to type. Some people they follow this. So here you just need to say the password field, right? So for now this code is ready, and one more step is to click the button. So if you save it, you will get this error go out. Okay, next is, okay, we missed the password. That's the reason it's not liking to go next. Yes. So now next step is to click the login button. Again, if you click a login button, you see it automatically refers the home page because we have the paging flow that way. It's because once the user in login, if you click a login button, it automatically takes to the home page of the application, right? So that's the reason it's automatically taken there. So it's say home sales pages, but sales is not ready yet, right? So you need to create the sales home page. So we can finish this click operation here. Click what is the element you want to say. So it's a button. So we follow these conventions, right? So if it's a text, it starts prefix. The first 3 characters denotes that what type of field it is. If a text field, as a button field, we always have this. All these standards are documented somewhere in the Confluence. You can just Google, go to our Confluence, search for this. It will get automatically. So button login, right? So that's how you need to type it, and this should return the new sales home. Okay, because first time we are going to create this page, so it should create new page automatically for you. Okay, so that's it. But this page is not created. You need to create this page. So I'm just creating a sales home page in the same class as it is under the same package. So I have a sales home page. Similarly, I would extend this to base page. Okay. So in home page, I don't know, like maybe we can verify the title of the page. So to make sure that we are getting that, but we can do it later. So this all is done. This all is done. So only thing is we're just waiting for it. Once you save the page, these errors should go away. Okay, so home page is ready. So now I can go and just homepage dot get something, get current URL. You can get it. So it will get the URL, and you can add assertion to that. So to verify something in verify maybe equals, because it has a lot of give IDs. So I will say like asset true, and in the condition I can say this dot contains something. Okay, so I can pass a message. If it's fail, it will say its URL doesn't match something. You can give whatever the conditions, expected results, you can give it. But this should, if it's not working, this will be error, right? So the test will fail because of that. So that by reading the message, you should know that, okay, the URL is not matching after login. That's what we are going to prove. So here maybe we are just looking for something here. /home page or something. Okay, so assume the home page title is home page or something. So this is how we have to write a new test. So the test is right. Okay, it's going some error here. Okay, there is no method like that, so we need to create for it. Okay, so there is no such method, so we have to create either we can go and find a new method that returns the URL, or you can get the driver instance also like this, get current URL is there. I don't know why it's not giving that, but it should give that. Okay, so this is how you have to write a page objects or a page creation and page objects. Okay, so far we just created a page object, but we have not fixed the property of that page because we don't know how the application looks like yet. But we know the test case in a Jira, and we had just started using the test case. But we just know how the page looks like. The login can be in the left side or in the bottom of the page, or it can be in next to next. So we don't know how the UI looks. Okay, now this is the main thing, like how to fix the objects. So, okay, so you need to create objects, right? So basically you need to create a field for it. You can do like this. It will automatically create a field for you. Okay, I created these all three objects, right? So in that said, it can be web element also. So because this type, right, we have two things. Either it's a web element or some types it's a by. Okay, so that's the reason you can choose whatever you want, but we prefer always web element. It's easy because we are using the find by annotation here. So the find by annotation is to find the element in the UI. Okay, so find by elements. If you over parenthesis next to this, just above this property, right? So you can able to use something like, for example, it can be a ID here, or it can be a XPath here. Okay, so you can do anything you like, but if you just type it, automatically it will come. Okay, so if you do X, you will press it, you will get control tabs, you will get all the different locators. You just need to type it. Okay, so I know Sales Portal is very friendly to automate. So most of the controls we have ID, so we can use ID here, but we don't know what ID is it, right? So let's find it out first. Same thing for everything. Okay, so you have to find it. You need to place that ID. Okay, so now the test is ready, completely ready. So we can just go and run the test also. But the one thing is we missed the Sales Portal URL. That's wrong here. We need to fix the Sales Portal URL, correct URL. So as I said, we are using property file and Excel sheets for test data. So you can see here, like there is a way you can change that username password here easily in one place. Based on the environment wise, we can just group it. But for the demo purpose, I'm just writing the data indirectly in the test. Okay. Okay, this is our URL, and I'm expecting the same thing somewhere, something here. Maybe I can use. I just want to check this word in the. This is not a proper test, but I just want to check whether the URL still has this sales. Okay, so again, if that is not there, then its test will fail. Okay, now if I run right, the browser will launch, but this objects won't identify because it's going to give error because this is still blank. Okay, so we need to find the ID, right? So now we have to really open the application. And this way, there is a development approach called TDD, test-driven development. This is one example of how we are using a test, because without an application, we just completed a test. Okay, so only thing we just need to fix these three places to how to identify the locators for execution. But so far the test development is almost done. That means I can say like I'm almost like 70% of the effort is done, 70% of it done. So maybe once I fix these objects, right, I may need to verify something in multiple browsers. Something for that I need to change something. Okay, but so far it just our test is almost done. So that's why I would say, like, based on the test case, without touching the UI, we just completed the test. Okay, now let's go open a new. Okay, so now is the sales portal application, right? So usually this is the URL. So the sales portal, sales LO user. So basically, how do you identify the locators? Most of you all know there are plenty of tools in online. You can easily find the locator. Some of them are open source. Some of them are you can pay a little dollars. You can get the nice tool for how to find XPath and all those things. But I always prefer Chrome console. Console, how to write an XPath and how to write the easy way. You can find the proper locator for that. So once you get the locator, right? So it'll be like this. So here you just find the ID for it. So this is ID. So if you put the tag for that, it'll automatically highlight that. So that means it's correctly identifying that. You can take that ID, or you can take the name or anything. But I always prefer ID if it's an ID. So take that ID and put in place in your method, so element locator, so user ID. Similarly, the password. So next field is a password field, I think. So you can get from here. Okay, so I just want to make sure that it's highlighting properly. Yes, highlighting properly. So I'm checking this control, the locator from this password as well. Okay, next thing is login button, right? So it could be somewhere next. Okay, if it's very hard, you can just go back and come this way. Right click and inspect it. It automatically takes you there. Type submit login. Okay, now if this is the tricky part here. So if you see there's the input type, right? But there is no, the value as login. So you have to use this value as a login. So for that, you may need to write an XPath for it, or you can write a CSS. Anything is fine. But if you right click and if you go and copy XPath, you'll get XPath. Or you get a CSS, you'll get a CSS. So whatever you prefer, it's up to you. But we always prefer a CSS the first, because it's comparatively XPath CSS is faster. But some places we have to use XPath because we are relying on some text information. Then we need to go for XPath. Okay, I just copied this XPath. This XPath may be not good XPath, but let's see. This is bad XPath, so I should not do this way. So this is a relative XPath. Sorry, this is not absolute XPath. I need to go for relative XPath. So to find the XPath, right, what we can do is you can go to the console. You just want to make sure there is no iframes. If it's iframe, you have to select the iframe here. But in this page, there is no iframes. That's why you see only the top page. So next part, how do you? There are a lot of ways people used to do that. Somebody used to just type it here. Okay. You can somebody type like this, so it'll automatically highlight there, or you can do this way also. So $X is for XPath and $$ is for CSS. There are a lot of commands you can use it, but for us, just $X and $$ is important. Okay, so let's go for XPath first. This is the default standards we have to find XPath here. To validate the XPath is correctly you're writing. Okay. So I'll just want to toggle this back to the main window so it's easy for us to understand. Okay. So here, right, if you type slabs, I know there's an input field, right? So if you put an input, it will see that there is a 5 input fields in this page. So that means it's not correct XPath. Still you have to write, we need to narrow down, right? So I want to see what type it is. So let's say type is usually button is a submit option or form submission like that. So you just need to say submit. Once you then write, so you will get this button is identified. Okay, so maybe we can take this XPath as a good XPath. So take this XPath and paste in your code. So this is XPath, so I'm just changing to XPath here. Okay, so now you fix all the objects with the UI. Once the UI is ready, this is another example, like without a UI, how to complete the automation scripts, right? So this is what you can wait for it. So most of the times developers know what it will be the expected. They simply say username means they say there is a username, or sometimes they say user ID. You can just fix it later also if something's wrong. So any questions so far? How to identify element? How to how to create a page objects? How to write a test in TestNG?
Ramesh, this is Avi here. Just to confirming, so the preferred way that we are using here, it will be a CSS or export. What's the preferred?
There is no preferred way, but technically CSS is faster. But we cannot use always CSS because in a real projects, right? There is a lot of we have to rely on text. Okay, usually for example, especially when you automate a table, right, web table, somewhere we need to rely on some text on the table to identify the particular row, or for example, in sales portal, right? There's a pipeline page. There you need to see the loan numbers, and corresponding loan number you need to edit or change the status. Okay, so in that is the case, you need to go for loan number. Okay, so that is the data. Based upon the test data, if you want to do something else, do some action on that to identify the control in the UI, then you need to go for XPath. There is no other option with any of the things. Yeah. Otherwise, I prefer CSS first if there is no test data or any text involved. Otherwise, XPath is easy and best to identify when you go for dynamic pages. Yeah, but the hierarchy is ID, name, and if for link we are using text and other controls like table, or if a table objects within a table, then we always prefer XPath and CSS. CSS is faster technically, but XPath we have to rely for the test data. Then you use text data to identify something with test data. Then you need to go for not only data, some text. Okay, so you need to go for that particular what is that XPath.
Okay. Ramesh, I have a question that this submit button, login button, and when we use a type submit, even the cancel button will also have the type is equal to submit, right? Both have the same functionality.
Yeah, possible. Yeah, it's possible. That's why we are just double checking here, right? So let's take a quick look here. Okay, so we are in cancel. This is the same type. See, if I use a class name, then it will give duplicates because both are the same class, right? The look and feel is the same. So but definitely both are that IR win button. But here it's not that. So it's not a submission. So class clicking cancel is not a submission.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically it's taking to a different page, I think. So that's why they're giving a referral.
That cancel seems like a link, right? It's like a tag.
Yeah, so right, correct. Yes, exactly. It's a link, not a button actually. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but based on this class, this looks like a button.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So once you log in, right, we'll double check that. But so this is how we need to create the test, and let's go and run our test. Okay. So let's demo test. There are two ways you can run your test. One is you just right click and you can run this test. But we never know like what browser we are used, how we are going to set up the driver. All those things will be taken care of from the Selenium base class. Okay. So the Selenium base class that's the reason I use the Selenium base. So if you see the Selenium base, we have some number of methods here like before suit, get driver, before method, after method. So in before method setup driver is there. This will launch the driver, and this driver is basically launch the driver. And do you know what is the what browser we used? We don't know, right? So we just want to find out what browser we use somewhere. So setup suit, this is our suit, but in here, right, if you set up the browser, right, if you're not using anything, it's always we use Chrome, it's optional. But if you want to choose the specific browser, you need to change it here, or you can run from an XML. I'll show you how to run from XML so that you can do it later. But right now, just want to test this test. It's going to use Chrome browser because the default browser is Chrome, as I said. So let's go and check how the test looks now. It may blow up for some errors. I might miss something now. So let's find it out what we missed.
You may have to update the URL, right?
Yeah, I think I put the correct URL for test now. So let's see what happens. Okay, it opens the browser. So first step is good. So open the browser. Okay, it navigates the URL and it's enter the password and it's login. Okay, so this is a simple test, right? Simple steps we did easily. But if you go next step, right, it may blow up something, or you need to wait for that page to be available, and it's done. Okay, something it's failed. Maybe the reason is that the URL, how we are fetching the URL. I think it doesn't like it. Okay, let's do a different things. Maybe you can copy from someone easily for the sort of the time. Home page. Right, let's check for. Okay, this one is search displayed. So this is also same way you have to write it, but I always write the test first, then only I will go for the page objects. So that's easy to. So we shouldn't miss anything. We cannot assume anything from the UI, and at the same time we are strict to follow the test. Okay, same thing. So if you mouse over, you will automatically create a field, and you can just find what is the loan number there field. You can copy paste from easily their home page. So loan number. So developer gave a very good name, LN. So it's easy for them also. Like we just want to say LN. That's it. So now it will identify the loan number. So I want to check in the home page whether the loan search box is displayed or not. So I'm going to use this now. In my test, I want to add an assertion to change this to is loan search box displayed or not. That's it. If it is true, then it will say, otherwise the loan search box is not displayed. Okay, so this will error out if it is not there. So let's try one more time. Okay, this time we'll do one more change. We'll run this from a test.ng XML so that we know what is test.ng now, right? So let's create one test.ng suit. Let's take this again, sales portal. I will copy this same because I don't know that I don't know the template in my mind, so I just create one new file. so we always name this as based on an environment and a quick name and to understand what the suit has, by seeing the file name. So that's the reason we have this naming conventions also. And we want to know the test name, so we are just copying that test path. Go to that suit and put that file name here. That's it. Oh, sorry, we have something else here. Sales demo dot. Okay. So when you come to TestNG, right, there are a lot of things we can do here. One is you can run whatever you like from the test. Even though if you have like 10 tests, but you want to run only 5 tests in the suite, you can just exclude. You can exclude, include, whatever you can do it. Okay, so that's the reason you can anything you want, you can do it there. Okay, so this is TestNG template. If you're aware already, then it's fine. But this TestNG has like multiple things like suite, a class, a test, and method. The 4 things you can. Okay, so the 4 things you can do manipulate however you want. You can create multiple suites, or you can create a multiple classes, or you can create a multiple TestNGs test or a methods. Okay, so whatever you just wrote here, it is just a method. Okay, this is a TestNG method. So we want to run this one test. In our test, we have only one test. We are good. So it will automatically run the whole test here, because we have all the tests inside that. So com.fi.ui.test sales demo. Okay, so easy thing is just to copy paste the path so that you won't do any typo error. Okay, so test name, you always create a suite. Okay, this is for demo. I'm just saying demo. Okay, so here you can configure. Suppose if I want to run this in a Firefox, I can say to change to Firefox. Or if I want to run in a Safari, we cannot. I'm using Windows, so I don't have a Safari in my local. If I want to run in Safari, I need to change this to Grid. So we can use Selenium Grid to run in a remote machine. So we have a couple of Mac machine connected over one of the Grid, so that we can run the Safari tests in the Mac remotely. So right now we are just going to use locally. We are going to try Firefox now with TestNG XML, so that we are running the test using TestNG XML. Here, if you notice that, right, so here a couple of things. Parallel is methods. Right now we have only one test, but if you want to run parallelly, we have to use parallel methods and thread count as like if I have like 5 tests, I can run five counts here. Or if I want to, but at the same time, your machine should be able to hold that performance, right? If you cannot spin up like 10 Chrome browsers in your machine. So for that, we need that infrastructure. So right now we just have one Firefox we are going to run locally now. So any questions on TestNG template? So this listener is something like we have to understand a little bit next level. But a listener, if you already know, that's fine. But listener is something to watch the steps, what it is doing for it, mainly for reporting purposes and analyzing the work. What test is running currently to report what is failed, what to rerun, all those things we are using listener here. So we have used 2 listeners. One is for rerun the test. If the test fails, automatically it will rerun one more time. This other one is this listener is just to report in a new template in a very good colorful format. We just want to prepare a execution report. That's the reason we have the another listener we added. So these 2 listeners are optional, but when you start from scratch, you don't want this. But if this listener is already working with our projects, you can just use it directly. You just need to call this listener there. That's it. And here, if you have multiple classes, right now we have only one classes, right? So you can add more classes like this also. So if you say like I have homepage test, you can say homepage test. So it will run all the homepage tests on that class. At the same time, if you have 5 tests here, but if you want to run only 4 tests, to exclude one test for some reason, right? You can exclude the test also here. You can include methods and you have to write methods tag and you exclude and give the test name that don't run. So TestNG is basically how to organize your test suite, what is in the scope for this particular release or particular cycle. So you can check. You can keep changing this suite and you can just trigger from your Eclipse for now. And once you have Maven and Jenkins ready, you can just run from Jenkins there. Okay, so now we'll just run this from local now. So now this time test should pass because we fixed the assertion, because we are just checking the search box is displayed or not. And most of our in Selenium, right, we have to wait for something to load and be available for next step, right? So that's why the base class will take care of everything. If you go to the base page, right, so every element is using a WebDriver wait. That means it's wait for some time default, and it will wait for the maximum time. So we give 180 seconds because I know sales model is very crazy, and it takes sometimes to pace to load for 3 minutes also. So we're giving maximum of 3 minutes time to load for a page, or if you're after making an action. So it may maximize the browser now, and it will just key in the page, key in the data. Okay, all those red arrows are all some from Firefox Gecko driver comments. Okay, so we have to just ignore it because we don't have any control on that part. So it's all about commands. That is how the driver is using. So if we say there's the test-ng test, right? We run only one test, and how many fails, how many skips, all those metrics will come out of this thing. And these are all our custom reports. So once that is done, right, you can just go and check the report also. So you create a report like this, emailable report. But right now it won't be any there because we didn't report anything properly. So, but I will show an example how we report it. Okay, so this is our emailable report that using the listener. Okay, so we run only one test, the test name, how much seconds it takes, and when we run. That's it. So this is what we usually send a mail to everyone when we run a suit. Okay, so this is one of the report, and another report is the extend report, because we didn't do anything in extend report, but will show you there's no extend report at all actually, because we miss something in for extend report. Okay, so now we ran the test locally, right? So now next step is how to run this test from Jenkins. So I'll go to Jenkins. Before that, do you have any questions in test-ng or WebDriver?
I just have one question on the reports. Are we capturing screenshots of execution?
Yes, yeah, we do that. Yeah, so basically we are not capturing every step, but if you want to capture every step, you can just add that take screenshot or something. So there is a method there. You can use this actually, but we're not doing for every test. As I said, like if you go to Selenium base, there is a method. I think there is somebody added that for me. Yeah, usually when a test fails, it automatically takes a screenshot. It will be in the report, in the Selenium report. For example, I can show in the logs here. The daily runs, you might see some tests are failing, right? So you can see that in the daily runs. But yeah, you can do it. The base class has something to take the screenshot for every step also. You can include that. Yeah, so to take a screenshot is very simple. You just need to add this step here. That's it. It will take a screenshot automatically for you in your thing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go back to Jenkins quickly. We have a few minutes left. So if we go to Jenkins homepage, right, you'll see this folder structures here. These are all grouped based upon the application wise. Let's go. We run some sales portal scripts. So let's go to sales portal. Okay, if you want to create a new jobs, right, it's very hard to create a new job because we know configure everything. Since we have a few minutes left, what I can do is I can just create a new item here. demo, but I will copy from the something else, so that will automatically fix that. Okay, so that means I'm copying the template from this new demo. Okay, so that said, it automatically set everything. So it is going to run this one of the VM. It's using my Git repository account. So to download the project, and it's going to deploy. It will take few minutes to deploy because it's going to copy the complete suite. Okay, so that's the reason it's there. This is to schedule that different times here. Here only we need to fix that. So what we do fix it, we need to create the new XML that we just created. Okay, so the XML is sales sanity demo test, right? So we just need to fix this XML. So once you give the XML file there, it will automatically fix that XML. Then fix the XML, and it will just send the results back to everyone. So I don't want to send everyone any mail now. So it automatically takes that path. Here for some reason they hard coded the path, but it should be like this. So it automatically takes that path and will send the mail for you. Yeah, I didn't send a mail anyone, but so right now we just have the code ready, but we didn't push to Git, right? So we have to push to Git so that we can use it in our next. Someone want to add something else, right? So we have to add that here. If you do Git status, it should show the 3 files that we changed. Sorry, I think 2 files, actually 1 package and 1 file, additional file we changed. So you can do a Git commit. So we need to add Git add first. Okay, I don't add it, but usually we can do a Git add dot. It'll add all the files and it will Git commit, and it will then you have to do a Git commit, and we have to push it. Then somebody has to merge that code in the Git in GitHub online. So that's how we can push our code to remote. Yeah, that's all I have for today. So any questions you have?
Do we have any document for which method is on which class? Like we have n number of methods, right? Any document?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Right. This is not actually the actual project we are working on it. So this is only for a sales portal. We are keeping a separate project. But if you go to the Maven project, right, the FRMC core, you will see like the demo folder structure like this. Something like, for example, if it's sales portal, right, it'll all the naming conventions follows that. If it's this wherever we have sales is a sales portal. This is sales tag. This is SPG. This is all SPG. So that by seeing the name conventions, you can go and understand for what action it's there. For example, if you go to SPG lock loan page, right? So see the lock loan page. So I have this control. So I can click cancel button on that, or click next button on that page, or everything is written inside that. So by seeing the convention, following the hierarchy of the page structure, the package, and the class name, you can find out what page you are referring and what files. And because as I told, it's all business driven. We are just doing like a business driven. So we named everything as a click. We don't want to do anything like a shortcut like click return to pipeline button. So that means the pipeline button has exactly the same text. Is that see how we are naming that return to pipeline? We don't do any short form also. We just put everything as it is. So that's the reason anyone can understand. Who knows the business, they can easily understand the script what it's doing. Yeah, that's how we can able to identify it. If you want have another session, like we can show how that from sales, right? In Jenkins, we have tagged the XML files based upon that. So, for example, if I want to run full regression test, right? So this I have an XML, right? The XML. If you go to the XML, you know what it has. So by seeing that XML, you can understand that what suite it is going to run. For example, sales portal regression test. Let's take this one, sales test. So So here this is going to run all the suit files. And if you go inside this each test, then you can understand what it has the test. For some reason, we do have some issue with the LPA, right? So we exclude those LPA tests for now. So once the LPA issue is fixed, we just want to remove this code. So it will run all the LPA tests again. So that's how we are organizing the TestNG suite. Like we can remove and add or exclude, remove, include anytime. So
Okay.
that answer your question. Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you for everyone. I'll send the recording once we have that. Also, I'll send the SharePoint link for those documents.
Thanks,
All right.
Ramesh.
So any other questions? Yeah, please reach me if you have any other questions.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Bye.
Happy Diwali, everyone, by the way.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you. You too.